Success loves action. Take action now. You've been told to think positive, to visualize wealth, to write down your goals. But let me tell you something Napoleon Hill understood better than anyone. None of that matters without action. A powerful dream without action is just a silent wish. You want financial freedom? You want the millionaire mindset? Then move, not tomorrow now. Because action is the fuel of all results. And that's the first shift toward a true success mindset. Here's the formula Hill hinted at. Desire gives planning, gives action, gives momentum, gives results. Desire gives you motivation. Planning gives you direction, but only disciplined action gives you results. If you've been wondering how to get rich, you'll never find the answer sitting still. You'll find it in execution. Wealth creation isn't about dreaming harder. It's about doing more and doing it consistently, even when fear and doubt are screaming for you to stop. Let's be honest. Every personal growth journey starts with an uncomfortable truth. You're not stuck because of your situation. You're stuck because of your hesitation. The moment you take even imperfect action, you activate the law of attraction, not through magic, but through movement. Each decision, each effort, each uncomfortable push forward is part of your growth. And the best part? You become successful not by waiting for motivation, but by building momentum through motion. Everyone wants success, but few are willing to do the one thing that creates it, force themselves to act. You can have the perfect plan, the boldest vision, the clearest goal, but if you don't move, nothing changes. That's why high achievers use what I call micro-commitments. Small steps, quick wins. You want to start a business? Don't build a brand overnight. Just write 50 words. That tiny action chips away at procrastination, and that's how a mindset shift begins. Another tool? The legendary 2-minute rule. If a task takes 2 minutes or less, do it now. Send the email, make the call, write the list. Don't let small things snowball into massive blocks. These micro-victories build momentum, boost self-confidence, and help you stay motivated, even when you don't feel inspired. This is daily motivation in action, not theory, not hype, just progress stacked on progress. But let's not forget accountability and discipline. Share your goal with someone. Set a self-imposed deadline. I will finish this by 4 p.m. That creates urgency. It transforms intentions into commitments. And every time you follow through, you reinforce your own integrity. That's personal growth. That's emotional wealth. That's how the law of attraction rewards effort by responding to action, not just thought. And to keep this going, you'll need a simple, practical framework. Most people don't lack dreams, they lack structure. You say you want success, but what does that look like in action? Here's where the VATI method comes in. First, frame your task clearly. Don't say, I need to get in shape. Say, I'll do 10 push-ups right now. Specificity transforms foggy intention into a crystal-clear objective. That's mindset shift. That's the first step from dreaming to doing. Your brain doesn't follow vague wishes, it follows commands with clarity. Next step, assign a tiny first action. Got a goal to increase your income? Don't overthink. Just research one idea that aligns with your passion. Want financial freedom? Read 2 pages of a book on wealth creation. These micro movements don't just break resistance, they build consistency. And consistency is the real engine behind every millionaire mindset. Each step reinforces discipline. Each action compounds into momentum. Each task, no matter how small, contributes to your long-term vision. Finally, time box it. Give it a window. From 6 o'clock to 6:15 p.m., I'll complete this. That single commitment to time creates urgency and crushes distraction. Most people fail not because their goals are impossible, but because their efforts are unstructured. Planning without action is hallucination. But planning with focused, time-bound execution, that leads to results. This framework is how you move from thought to traction. And now, let's apply it in the real world. Let's bring this down to earth. Imagine you want to launch a side hustle. That sounds big, right? But big goals don't begin big. They begin with one clear step. So you frame it. I'll study my audience. Then you assign. Read one article about my target market. And then you time box. Between 7 o'clock and 7:15 p.m. tonight. Simple, small, precise. That 15-minute window is where momentum is born. And momentum is where mindset shift begins to take root. You don't need more motivation. You need movement. Even the most successful people don't feel inspired every day. They just act anyway. That's daily motivation by discipline, not emotion. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't need to feel enthusiastic to do it. You just do it. And that's how success mindset is built. Not on fireworks, but on consistent, predictable sparks of execution. That's how goals evolve into milestones. Here's the magic: each action builds emotional equity. You start to feel proud. That pride becomes fuel. That fuel becomes identity. Suddenly, you're not trying to think big. You're becoming someone who naturally does. That's personal growth in real time. You're stacking progress. And progress creates belief. But belief only grows when fear fades, and for that, we need to understand the deeper relationship between fear and action. Here's the truth most people avoid. Fear doesn't leave before you act, it leaves because you act. Your brain waits for you to feel ready. But Napoleon Hill taught us that faith is not built by thinking, it's built by moving forward in uncertainty. The moment you move despite fear, you rewire your entire belief system. Your brain gets the message. We're not here to freeze, we're here to fight. That's where real mindset shift begins. Here's the truth most people avoid. Fear doesn't leave before you act, it leaves because you act. Your brain waits for you to feel ready. But Napoleon Hill taught us that faith is not built by thinking, it's built by moving forward in uncertainty. The moment you move despite fear, you rewire your entire belief system. Your brain gets the message. We're not here to freeze, we're here to fight. That's where real mindset shift begins. Every breakthrough begins with a trigger. Sometimes it's frustration, other times it's clarity. You act, even hesitantly, and what happens next? A small result. Just enough to prove that the mountain you feared is climbable. That tiny win sparks belief. And with that belief, you don't need to force the next step, it happens naturally. Confidence expands, fear shrinks. And this becomes the start of what I call the action spiral. The action spiral works like this. Trigger gives small action, gives small win, gives confidence, gives bigger action, gives bigger win, gives repeat. That cycle creates momentum you can't buy, fake, or borrow. It must be earned. Every time you take action, you prove to yourself that results are within reach. And when that happens consistently, something powerful awakens inside: identity. You don't just try to become successful anymore, you embody it. This is the secret of personal growth. Your actions shape your mindset, not the other way around. The more consistent you are, the faster the results come. Not because the world got easier, but because you got stronger. You don't break down at obstacles, you lean in. You don't lose time doubting, you gain time executing. That's what creates the loop. And once you're inside it, your need for motivation disappears. You're driven by identity. And identity drives everything that follows. Here's a lesson that will change everything. Discipline outperforms motivation in the long run. Motivation fades, but consistency builds character. The people who win are not the ones who get it right once. They're the ones who show up even when they don't feel like it. That's how you shift from chasing success to embodying it. Daily habits. Small steps, repetition. That's what builds an unshakable success mindset. Each consistent action builds trust in yourself. And that trust creates internal momentum. With every follow-through, you build confidence, the kind that isn't loud or flashy, but steady and grounded. Over time, that internal stability gives you something most people never find: freedom. freedom from fear, freedom from doubt, freedom from waiting. You stop relying on the perfect conditions and start creating your own results. That's personal power. And here's the best part. The more you act, the more you learn. You gain insight. You see what works and what doesn't. You course correct faster. You evolve. This is where your goal transforms from a hope into a system, and systems win. Because systems aren't emotional, they're effective. So if you're ready to sustain this shift, you'll need more than motivation. You'll need your own force yourself plan. This is where theory becomes transformation. Choose one area of your life, just one, where you've been stuck. Is it your health? Finances? A project you've postponed for months? Now apply this. Create a micro task that takes 2 minutes or less. That's how we shatter procrastination. One tiny win. One decision in motion. Because big dreams collapse without small beginnings. And this is how you build daily motivation from discipline, not emotion. Now set a deadline. Not vague, not someday specific. I'll do this by 7 p.m. tonight. That's your first act of self-leadership. Then tell someone, post it, text it, make it public. That's accountability, and it changes everything. You're not just moving toward your goal, you're becoming a person who finishes what they start. And that shift? That's a mindset shift at its core. It's how average people build a legacy. Now set a deadline. Not vague, not someday specific. I'll do this by 7 p.m. tonight. That's your first act of self-leadership. Then tell someone, post it, text it, make it public. That's accountability, and it changes everything. You're not just moving toward your goal, you're becoming a person who finishes what they start. And that shift? That's a mindset shift at its core. It's how average people build a legacy. Each day, repeat, new task, same discipline. That's how you stay motivated without chasing motivation. Want to know how to get rich? It doesn't start with millions, it starts with momentum. When you stack 2-minute wins, you reshape your entire identity. You stop waiting to become successful and start living like someone who already is. Let's anchor everything we've covered so far. These aren't just ideas, they're instructions. And each one is a brick on the path to your next level. Action is the bridge between desire and achievement. Planning without action produces no results. Use micro-commitments and the 2-minute rule to destroy procrastination. Apply the FAT framework. Frame, assign, time box to stay structured and consistent. Build daily motivation through tiny tasks that feed your momentum. Fear fades when you move, and faith grows with each act of discipline. Step into the action spiral. Trigger gives small win, gives confidence, gives bigger win, gives repeat. Consistency builds character. Motivation is great, but discipline sustains progress. Confidence compounds through action. You don't need to feel ready, you need to start. Personal growth is the result of identity built through behavior. Want financial freedom and long-term wealth creation? Begin with habits. Define a clear goal. Act on it daily. Adjust as you grow. That's how you build a success mindset and achieve true transformation. Right now, you're standing at a crossroad and no one else can walk it for you. You've seen the tools. You've understood the mindset. You've heard the truth. Discipline builds freedom, and inaction kills potential. So the question is, what are you going to do with all this? Keep watching videos hoping for the right moment? Or decide that today, right now, is the moment you shift your direction for good? Right now, you're standing at a crossroad and no one else can walk it for you. You've seen the tools. You've understood the mindset. You've heard the truth. Discipline builds freedom, and inaction kills potential. So the question is, what are you going to do with all this? Keep watching videos hoping for the right moment? Or decide that today, right now, is the moment you shift your direction for good? Maybe your goals are blurry. Maybe your fears are loud. That's fine, just start. Action clears confusion. Every time you move, your goal gets clearer, and your mind gets stronger. And suddenly, you're not just thinking about how to be confident, you're becoming confident. You're not just hoping for wealth creation, you're creating it, piece by piece. That's what separates people who become successful from those who stay stuck in wishful thinking. So what will it be? Will you keep negotiating with your excuses or start partnering with your potential? That moment of decision is the doorway to your future. And when you walk through it, everything changes, but only if you walk forward. So now it's your move. You've learned the strategy. You've seen the psychology. You've been handed a roadmap built on discipline, not hype on consistency, not luck. But here's the catch. Knowledge doesn't change lives. Action does. The next step? It's not complicated. It's not fancy. It's just one small decision to move forward right now. Drop in the comments. What's the one action you're committing to today? One thing, one move. Name it. Own it. This is how you start living the success mindset, not just learning about it. And if you felt this message deep in your gut, don't let it fade. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell. Be part of a community that doesn't wait. It executes. Because the law of attraction responds to movement. Because wealth creation rewards those who start before they're ready. Because someday is a lie, and the only time you own is now.